other women too. Trying to get over that shit. I don't know what the fuck's going on. To this day. But I do know who got the mail, King. I do know who can type on our ship, EMFN. King and Ben Campbell. And it's a third-class petty officer who's a yeoman in our division who typed up letters for Lieutenant Gisborne to do his reports with. Was assigned to our division. He's the only one I know could type well, or 10 times better than me, who might could write letters for them under duress himself. Because, of course, they can't type well. They're like me. They're like you. They're not typists. Nor am I. Which again, dumbasses might should have typed it up themselves, and that would have been more believable than using one of the best typists on the ship. And yes, I'm giving him compliments because I know he's a good typist, probably than me or Ben King. Though compliments go a long way when you don't know what else going on anyway. And you just know if they're trying to harm you and asking you if you're gay, what are they trying to do to him? Worse, maybe. Even though you tell them no, you're not. They don't want to hear that shit, do they? And it ain't so much as that would do anything with them anyway. See, it's just a way to get me off the ship anyway. Some people hate you so badly that they'll pretend they're giving you a way out when they're not. No, that would get me an other than honorable discharge, dumbass. And I'm going to get an other than honorable discharge because I'm trying to do my job and you won't let me. And are giving me bad evals. 2.75 is barely passing C. But guess what kind of grades I'm getting in my new course? 3.5. Right. Now, it's an easy little course, but I'm making C's, B's, and A's, right? Like I did in school, Sheena. Now, guess which class I didn't do very well in the 9th grade typing. See, like most people who type, I think it's about how I see. I don't know. Even though they tell you it's not, right? It's psychologically embedded in us to type what we see. Not just how they want us to type, right? Especially guys. See, we're taught to write, and when you write, you watch what you write, and so us guys don't quite comprehend that like women do, or certain men who can type, right? Too, right. But see, dumbasses, whoever's in this loop with me, they weren't there with my ex-wife that night. If I'm knocked out 20 days later, guess who's the only one who can say what happened? Her. Guess what happened when they called the police and asked her about all this shit? She said it never happened. Right? Now, I don't know how many times you got to hear that from me when someone got the police involved and they called her about the story and her grandmother, her mother, right? Normally, if you're arguing with someone and you tell them, well, the police were contacted and they called my wife and that she said it never happened. So why are you still on about it? You weren't there. She was. It's what I keep going back to, right? See, me and my ex-wife, okay, we split up kind of amicably, right? There was a divorce in place a year later, like in the state of Virginia. She never charged me at all. Never once called me a pedophile. Never once said I touched her daughter. Never once said her daughter even came in there to me. But the only place I could have talked about it, other than that, would have been with someone on base. Now you might ask, well, why would you bring all that up? Well, there were other things going on, like without a church I was involved with, and kind of risque things. Not necessarily criminal, not even against the UCMJ. Right. It wasn't anal sex because homosexuality is wrong to the pastor, right? But see, you ain't got to do that and masturbate in a motel room either. Carl do. Back her front seat. What, you mean you're acting like a male prostitute when you do that too? Okay, I don't know. Or even a female one. I've heard of hand jobs. To be a little blunt about it. I also heard of blow jobs, or what that means. I don't know. And I heard of straight sex or anal sex with the male or female. I've also seen pornos, and I've also seen sex magazines and catalogs selling pornos and all that stuff. Now, apart from that, though, after I meet Tina, guess what I find in one of the lounges in the bosun's mate's quarters of the ship? A magazine dealing with Gnosticism. And there's this new petty officer talking about Adam had anal sex with Satan and Eve had sex with Satan too. Right? So I read about the Gnostic Gospels. I said, oh, I get it. Being a Christian and told not to have anal sex, I'm taught one of them did something good. One of them did something evil. Okay. And I figure, hey, this might be a little menage a trois too. It also talks about hermaphrodites. And I found out through another magazine, right, selling pornos, right? Oh, there's real he-he's, right? With both a penis and a vagina. FYI, educational wise, YouTube. To inform you as an educator who found out about it the hard way. So you don't have to actually see one to know they exist. Of course, if you don't, you can't really verify my story now, can you? But that's all I can do is tell you I saw one. Maybe two or three. But the only place you can see them nowadays is where? In porno. Is that why you don't want to watch your pornos, Christians? Because we might find out there's a third gender and it's associated with Jesus too. In fact, didn't he have two other people appear with him who he was talking to? Yes, the disciples thought it was Moses and Elijah, but how the fuck would they know what they looked like? 1,500 to 1,000 years later. But he was talking to somebody who was interacting with him. Well, Isaiah mentions 3 different things the Lord will do as. It's kind of kin. Gabor, Chi, or something like that. Ish and Ki, Yolda, as. One is young woman. One is man of war, kind of. And one is kind of mighty warrior. When interpreted by King James in Isaiah 42, around 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, somewhere in there. If you want to read it or something. Well, Gabor sounds like mighty light too. Or Asher, or I don't know what I'm saying. Something in Hebrew. Or light and light. Or Yahi, or is, was, and is to come light, or was light, whatever. Right. Now, Yahi is past tense, present tense, and future tense, maybe. Could be Yahi or Yehi. Yohi. Yahi. Those are the 5 main vowel sounds anyway, or Yuhi. Right? Or Ya. Yeah. Yeah. Oh. Or Yehi. I mean, there's only so many ways you can pronounce a vowel anyway, right? But whatever it is, we don't know the consonants, right? Or only the consonants with the vowels, right? So that means whatever you're trying to say, you got to insert vowels into it anyway to make it a word anyway. But in a rhyming or a word pattern in the Hebrew, Eliyahu is the name of Elijah in the Hebrew. Well, I notice YHW and YHH is a contraction of the divine name. And YHWH and SRSRH, Sarah and Sar, Prince Her, right. And I noticed Benim and Benoth, right? Ben is son, and Ben Oath is daughter, right? Daughter seems like plural. Well, Bat is also daughter. But it's not plural like Bath, Sheba. Daughters. By the way. If you know the Hebrew, that's plural. But if you don't know the Hebrew, it's Greek to you. Like mastois is associated with the female's breast, not a male's. Stethos is the male's. Which John uses both for some reason. One in his gospel, one in Revelations, where he's revealing the final secrets to you before he dies. On Patmos. Of natural causes, maybe. I guess. They weren't trying to boil him in oil or something before that. And couldn't kill him or something. It wouldn't be any different than Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the fiery furnace, right? Or anything. Now, I heard James was thrown down from the Temple Mount like Jesus was tempted to be. Now, I heard he survived it somehow, and then they stoned him or something too, right? I don't know. I wasn't there. That would be in Fox's Book of Martyrs, by the way. If you don't know about the Bible and the history of the chosen people. And that there's more than the Bible that talks about things that happen in the Bible. The Bible just talks about some of the stuff. There are sources outside the Bible, even in other cultures, that kind of refer to Jesus. Even the Roman historians and the Jewish historian Josephus at least mentioned the so-called Christ and kind of had a glowing report of him at one point. But one was near the destruction of the temple, right? Not saying he wrote it chronologically or anything. See, if you write one in 33 AD or 32 AD or 26 AD or 27 AD, when it was written, you get the point. All our calendars are foobarred too. Anyway, ranting again to them. Too much facts. Like the library in Alexandria that the Romans burned anyway. Who knows what knowledge they had back then that we lost when they did that shit. But is that why Peter and John and all that wrote the Bible the way they did? Kind of threatening you not to change what they wrote. But at the same time, knowing you can't really make someone do something they want to do anyway, too. But Moses kind of did the same thing with what he wrote. But what does that mean? You can't change what he wrote. See, someone talked about iron in the Bronze Age. Well, shekels aren't made of iron. They're made of gold, silver. I don't know about bronze, but yeah, those two metals. In fact, gold was very big in Tutankhamun and Ramses' age. Second or third or first or second? I don't know. One of them might be associated with Moses. If that's what the Hebrews called him, or Moshe, or Moshe. Another H ending word. Ain't feminine, is it? Like Elkanah. Nah. So a man can't have a feminine name, nor can Abigail have a masculine name. The father of joy is her name. Is her name. But she's the father of joy, or he's the father of joy. You figure it out. Right? But her name is still Abigail, father of joy. Father of joy. So is her real name just Joy, or is his father saying he's the father of joy? And naming her Abigail. You figure it out. Okay, I think you get the point. I'll write you tomorrow. Bye.